Thanks, Toby. Now, Shoreditch is getting its first ever improv festival. With the rise of improvised comedy shows in the West End, organisers are hoping to bring the same success to East London. Expect spontaneous silliness and high-stakes hilarity from some very funny guys. And joining me now are the people who've put it all together, Martin Hulf and Caro. Thank you both so much for joining us tonight. So, why an improv festival in Shoreditch? Does Shoreditch need one of these?
Well, yeah. I mean, Shoreditch is a fantastic place to hang out. It's got a lot of different things you can do. It's known for its fashion, its food, and its nightlife. But the comedy is a little underrepresented. So the aim of the festival is to kind of have a great time, bring a sense of community, and give people something else they can do in the evenings.
So what can people expect from this festival now?
So we're running this festival starting tomorrow and going all weekend, and we have more than 30 groups from all over London, and they're doing all sorts of different comedy. So there's sketch comedy, there's improv comedy that's based on like games and scenes, there's longer scenes, and we also have some people who are doing musical comedy, so where they will improvise songs that are completely made up on the spot.
So for those who might not understand or know of improvised comedy, when I think of it, I'm thinking of, you know, Whose Line Is It Anyway? That was a really big comedy show in the 90s and early noughties. And that pretty much sums up improvised comedy. You're given a subject and you make a funny out of it.
Yeah, I suppose in its shortest form games, that kind of thing is where most people understand it from. But it's really got lots of different elements to it. There's definitely a real skill in being able to take one word and produce an entire storyline from scratch. So you get people who will do things like that. They'll take a much longer approach to it. Equally, you'll see people do things like improvise an entire musical from a sentence that's made from 6 people's suggestions.
Wow, that is incredible talent. And both of you guys are going to be performing. I mean, Anna, tell us a bit about your show.
Yes, so Martin and I are both part of a group that's called City Impro, and we will be opening the festival, and what we do is sort of very short-form games. So we'll go on stage and we'll explain a game and then have the audience give a suggestion. Sometimes we even have an audience member on stage who will sort of provide input as we go along. And then we just do a couple of different games in a row. And we're also performing on Saturday as part of something called the Improv Deathmatch, which is like 2 teams of improvisers going up against each other, and the audience gets to decide like who's the winner, who was the funniest.
And so how would it work then? So it's very much you involve the audience, isn't it? By, I guess, they throw out the suggestions for the topics. That's pretty risky, isn't it? Anything can happen.
I think it's fair to say we've had a few hairy situations, right?
Yeah.
But part of it's thinking on your feet, right? So I think we've been able to deal with almost everything that's come our way.
Yeah. And you ask the audience for something that's easy, because they are also nervous when they come to a show, so you ask them for easy things at the beginning, like any location or a color or a relationship, and then as they get more comfortable, they'll throw out more interesting things as well. And then you just sort of, and that's one of the things I really love about improv, is like you don't know what's coming, and sometimes the audience has like the best jokes that they can just throw at you, and then you can make something beautiful out of it.
Because I'm not sure if people realise some of the best Hollywood comedians come from that improv background. So talking Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers. Mike Myers did stuff here as well, actually, in London, which I remember very well. But yes, this is if you can do improv, you can pretty much do anything in comedy, isn't it?
To some extent. Definitely, it makes people much more versatile as actors, and they can find the funny things in scenes that probably more traditionally trained actors or stand-up comedians don't always pick up on. It's definitely a feather to your bow if you're planning to get into acting.
But also, even if you're not planning on getting into acting, it's just something that's a very fun thing to do on the side. So neither of us is an actor in our real jobs, and but doing improv, it makes you sort of, because you're on stage, you become more confident in real life. You're quite good at listening because everything's made up, so you really need to pay attention to what's being said. So it just makes you a more confident person in general. I think it has a lot of benefits.
What are your day jobs?
I'm an accountant.
What?
Yep.
I'm a trainee solicitor.
Oh my gosh, so how on earth does, what is it, you have some, I don't know, some comic push, some drive to say, I want to be funny, I want to make people laugh. Where's it come from?
Well, I mean, even from an early age, I actually like being the center of attention. So for me, this was
so getting
into
accounting makes sense,
absolutely, yeah. But because of that, you know, doing a serious job during the day, you need an outlet. And I've found so much from improv that actually, although I enjoy being outlandish and off the wall, I've really made a lot of friends to it.
Well, good luck with your first improv festival in Shoreditch this
Thank
weekend.
you.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, still to come tonight.